Guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Angela. So I've been hemming and hawing over this all day. So I am going to a wedding tomorrow, and I found out that this wedding is at a famously haunted hotel. Actually, it's in the carriage house on the same property as the hotel, but it's not the hotel itself. Everyone that has ever gone to this hotel has had experiences. This hotel has been on numerous shows for the paranormal. It was built in like the 1800s. What I find fascinating about this is that I work with a friend that has been to this hotel. She lives in the town that it's in. She has even said that even though she doesn't really believe in the paranormal, that it's haunted. What I find fascinating, I mean, I've heard about it before. I've never been to this town. It's only like 20 minutes away from where I live. What I find fascinating about it is in February, my grandmother passed. And in her eulogy, I found out that she lived there as a child. And I'm like, that's crazy, because she was 98 when she passed, or 96 when she passed, excuse me. And for her to live there as a preteen, that was a long time ago. And then it just feels like it's come full circle because she passed in February, and now in October I'm going to the same place that she was at as a child. So I feel like she's with me, anticipating going there tomorrow, if that makes any sense. But I've been hemming and hawing about doing a spread, and I was trying to make it like really a cutesy spread where I was like, it's like the paranormal guest list, like checklist, like chicken or fish, and then you give a question, or bride or groom side, and then give a question. But because it's already like a famously haunted place, I couldn't think of a way to do that. So I just scoured the internet and different spreads and found some questions that I wanted to ask. And I've got two different decks here that I've used. One is the Haunted House Hotel, or Haunted House Tarot by Los Scarabaro. And then we have the Tarot de la Nuit, which is also Los Scarabaro. And then I have an Oracle deck here that I pulled a card. Then I'm going to ask some questions from other decks here in a minute. But I have three major questions that I asked. The first one was, what can I expect from the dead tomorrow at this wedding? And to me, that's a very simple, plain question. So let's see what these two cards say. So we got here the Ten of Wands, and she's tied to a stake. And she looks like she's in a wedding dress. And then we have Justice. And as I was going through stuff earlier and asking questions, and it will come up again, I was actually getting a couple names. One was Betty, and one was Neil. And I'm like, I don't know anybody by the name of Neil. I know a Betty, which is, I don't know that she's coming to the wedding. So that's very interesting. Betty is like a family member of a family member of a family member, so I don't know if she's coming. But immediately got burning. I feel like this building itself was, and they both seem very fiery to me. I feel that this was maybe this section of, because it's called the carriage house, and the where the wedding is going to be held. It's on the same property, but it's not the hotel itself. And people, I couldn't find anything on the carriage house. And my friend that even lives in that town said there's never been any reports of anything there. However, with these two cards, I feel like the building is newer, and that's why. Maybe there was something there that burnt to the ground previously, a barn, whatever. Who knows? Because the building's been there since the middle of the 1800s, like maybe even early 1800s. I don't remember the year, but it's been around for a long time, for America standards. But I also feel like my neck is constricted. and see my throat. So I also feel like where this spot is, there was maybe hangings that happened, and justice was served. So that's quite interesting. Quite interesting. And then the question 2 is, what is the energy of this place? What is the energy of the place? Oh my God. So we got the Ace of Swords, and they're literally cutting into themselves. And then the Ace of Cups. That's very interesting because when I do, like I said, the last couple years as I've been diving deeper into this, it's all about connecting head and heart for me. My mediumship abilities are all about connecting head and heart, and then I'll be open to receiving things. And maybe that's what it's telling me is the energy is going to be whatever you make it, whatever you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. But I also feel like it's going to be an emotional day because it is a wedding. There's going to be a lot of emotions that are running high. And I almost feel like I just heard crowd gathered round. So it's almost like whoever's here, whatever spirits are here, are also excited at the upcoming event that they know is happening. Now this one seems very ominous because it looks like they're cutting themselves. But at the same time, there's a mental awareness that there is something happening, and then there's this emotional side. I almost feel giddy, like, oh, there's another wedding happening, and let's join in the fun. So that's what I'm feeling from that. So that's good. That's kind of what we want at a wedding, right? So that's quite interesting as well. I can't believe those are both aces came up for that. And then the third question: how will this energy affect the wedding? How will this energy affect the wedding? We got the Empress and the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands, this one I have a hard time with. To me, Six of Wands is usually about celebration. And then the Empress is about, this female energy giving life, but she looks very laid back and lazy, like, yeah, I'm done. Like, and maybe this is how the bride is going to feel at the end of the day. Like, I'm done if I take one more photo, if I do one more thing, I'm going to be just exhausted. And this almost looks like a wedding thing here too. That's quite interesting. Here though, the deck is kind of dark sometimes because this Six of Wands, where there's usually a celebration involved, it almost feels like she's being stripped of her clothing at this point. She's being stripped down to the bare essentials, and then paraded through town. Maybe it's like like back in the day. I know they would stand in the room while the couple copulated and took the bed sheets and hung them out the window so they know they copulated the marriage or whatever. Maybe that's the older energy that's showing up here is going to be like, this is it's a more traditional to me feeling. So that's interesting. Very interesting. And then I feel like here, this is going to be like at the end of the day, she's going to be like, I just want to sleep. But this is a very traditional feeling here for me. And yes, while it is a celebration, to me, the energy that's going to affect the wedding they want everything to be very traditional. And I totally feel that. And considering what I was asked today, like 3 hours ago, I feel that makes sense with that. So, it's almost like there's this giddiness here, and then they're like, we're going to get down and serious when we get down to it. So that's quite interesting. And then this Oracle deck I pulled from the, oh my gosh, where's the cover? The Magic of You Oracle. I haven't looked at it, but it is the very dark and twisty Ubuntu, and it's compassion for others. Quite interesting. And I just pulled that as an overall, what do you feel kind of thing, and that's what popped up, is this feeling of there's going to be a lot of understanding tomorrow. Makes sense to me. So now I'm going to ask the spirits, because I've been dying to ask this question. How many spirits will there be from the paranormal guest list? So let me pull out, I'm using the Jack-o'-lantern tarot for this. Actually, not the Jack-o'-lantern tarot. I don't really use the Jack-o'-lantern tarot. I pulled out all my decks. But actually, you know what? Let me pull this. I'm going to ask this question of this one, and then I'll ask it of the other one. And I did this in red, too. And this is the backs. It's a cool deck. Kind of a darker deck sometimes, too. It's fun, though. I got this around this time last year. And then I got the Trick or Treat Tarot tonight, so I'm so excited. Okay, so how many spirits are going to be here? Like, how many spirits are going to be on the paranormal guest list? How many spirits are going to be on the paranormal guest list? How many spirits are going to be on the paranormal guest list? Not getting anything. Guest list. Maybe it knows I don't want to use it. I wasn't going to use it. Let's switch. Let me do this one more time. How many? That one's popping out. We got 5. And again, there's this competitiveness there. I almost feel like, I do feel like it's 5 or less spirits are going to show up. And I've been feeling that all day. Because that's like one of the first questions I thought of this morning. And then I was like, as soon as I thought it, I'm like, what are your names? And then Betty and Neil popped in. And I'm like, I'd be interested to find out if there's ever been a Neil work there. And did you see that? I'm talking about them and they're showing up. It's weird. So yeah, I just feel like, but I feel like they're fighting over, only a certain amount of them get to show up to the wedding. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we're only allowed to do, or there's only so many of us that are allowed to do this. So I feel like they're fighting over who gets to show up for this one. Or maybe they're just arguing over how many of the relatives are whichever side. That's interesting. So this is the Trick or Treat Tarot. Can we clarify if there's going to be, and 2 cards popped out, and I was thinking of Betty and Neil. Betty and Neil. So Betty energy. Betty. I'm getting like a older person. I still don't know. I don't know that. I think I'm biased just because I know Betty is. There is a lady that's alive named Betty. That's showing up there. Let me. So Betty is, yeah, that's crazy. And then Neil I got, and it's weird because I got the male for the female and then the kind of a female looking thing for the male. Maybe I swapped them. Anyway. I feel like there's going to be a competition or an argument between spirits to see who gets to show up. I feel like there's a limited number that's allowed. It's weird. And then here he's like, oh, I just realized what that is. Okay, so maybe only 5 total are going to show up. Betty and Neil are the spokespeople for the female and male version of the spirits that are there. And they are going to decide who gets to go of the 5. Or, like, there's going to be 5 total, including these 2. And I feel like they have to decide on 3 more people. Interesting. And I just lost a card. Interesting. But I feel like that's totally, because the Hierophant is, a person of, what do you call it? Somebody that, of a higher learning status, and then here's all about making choices. So I feel like these are representing of the 2 people that are deciding. That's quite interesting. And then I'm just going to pull one final card from each deck. Any more information on the deceased going to the wedding tomorrow? Any information on the deceased? One final card from each. Any more information on this place? We got the 7 of Wands. And it says whack-a-mummy. I feel like there's going to be a lot of games. A lot of games that's had. A lot of fun times. Any other... Wow, that one flew out. That deck's wanting to talk now, but I told it I didn't like it. Knight of Cups. And I really do love this deck. It's really pretty. The Knight of Cups. I feel like that's our groom. He's showing his cup to his lady. Interesting. I don't know why it does keep coming back to them 2 that are alive, and I'm trying to do things on the people that are deceased. And then from the Haunted House Tarot, any further information on the Elms Hotel, which is the name of it. And the Ace of Wands again. Did I do Ace of Wands here? We got the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Cups. So now we have the Ace of Wands. And again, aces are all about new beginnings, and we have 3 of them. 3 of the 4 in the suit. So that's interesting that keeps coming up. It's almost like whoever's there, it's not bad energy. They're celebrating right along with the bride and groom as well. Interesting. Any more information we can glean? We got the King of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like they're also gonna get a lot of cash, too, because there's gonna be a lot of games played, where it's giving the bride and groom money. So interesting. But again, this keeps coming back to the bride and groom. So my question is on this aspect, did you guys learn anything about the spirit? Because I don't think I did. I was trying to find out what I was walking into tomorrow, because I've heard many good and bad things about this hotel. But so far, from the spread I'm getting, it's like they're there, they've been there for a long time, and they're just there to celebrate and enjoy whatever's happening at the venue, because it is a venue for weddings. So I feel like these spirits are old hat, they're used to this, and they just enjoy being with people and celebrating with them. So maybe that's my answer all along that I needed to just figure out. Anyway, that's all I'm doing tonight. I can't think of anything else. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, don't hesitate to comment below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification button so you're alerted to any future videos. And y'all have a good night.